Job probably lived in the second millennium BC, and his story is one of the most famous stories in all of the Bible. Christians and non-Christians alike are likely to know this tale of suffering and pain. The book begins and ends with a prose description of Job's life, comparing the suffering Satan inflicted on him over against God's care, protection, and ultimate blessing. The majority of the book is made up of a series of speeches spoken by men who were Job's early supporters, but quickly became his greatest critics. This book tackles massive questions that have loomed in the minds of sufferers throughout all time. How can a good God allow righteous people to suffer? Doesn't this either make God unloving or unjust? Why doesn't God stop human suffering and the suffering of all creation if He is in control of all things? These questions are posed throughout the book, though the answers seem to evade the grasp of Job, his wife, and his friends. Ultimately, God speaks and reminds Job that his knowledge is very limited when compared to the inexplicable wisdom of God. God is good and He is in control, though His people may wonder where He is at certain times. God cautions Job and the readers of this book against trying to make a simplistic correlation between their blessing or suffering on this earth and God's goodness, care, or control. God is always at work and is capable of using great pain and suffering to fulfill His good purposes for this world. Jesus' death on the cross is the ultimate example of God's control over evil. On the surface, it seems like the cross was the greatest evil that could have ever perpetuated against God's Son. Jesus' body, beaten and broken, hung on a Roman cross to the horror of His followers. It seemed that Jesus' battle against evil was lost. Yet all the while, God was working to perfectly accomplish His glorious mission to save fallen sinners. His mission required that His Son go through suffering, not around it. 3 days later, Jesus' empty tomb shouted victory to all creation. Jesus Christ, the promised Messiah, had defeated Satan, sin, and death through the most unlikely path by experiencing death Himself. Christians today can take heart in the fact that while they will surely suffer, God is at work and He can be trusted. He has already won the war. The Lord gave and the Lord has taken away. Blessed be the name of the Lord. Job 1:21.